It is July 31st, which means it is the end of Art Fight. Currently, I'm on the Art Fight website, and it says that we have 1 day, 7 hours, and 15 minutes and so many seconds. And I could fit a drawing in there, and I might actually still fit a drawing in there. Maybe a little one. Fossils are losing. We're losing, okay? I'm fossils, and we're losing. We're at 49.99%, and crystals are at 50.01. God, what a big difference! Someone's got to win, and I feel like it should be my team because I actually contributed this year. It should be me. It should be all about me. But yeah, I did. I actually contributed this year. I think I joined Art Fight in 2021, but I only made 1 or 2 drawings because... Why did I only make 2 drawings? Oh, no, I remember. Okay, 2021, I was making a FNAF comic. I was making Connection Terminated. And so I was really busy, and I was doing 2 panels of that every single day. I cannot wait to make a comic again. Like, I love having a direction of what I'm doing, which is why I love making, like, animated videos or, like, animatics, because you have, like, you wake up and you're like, oh, I'm doing the next page. You wake up, oh, I'm doing the next page. Like, you know what you're doing. And sometimes that is just, like, great, because you don't have to think. It removes that, like, thinking aspect of what I'm drawing today. I love drawing. But that's what I really liked with Art Fight this year, was that I woke up and I was like, I don't know what I'm drawing today, but I'm just going to click on a random character. I was using that random character feature every single time, and I'm just going to draw whatever comes up and whatever I feel like drawing. This year, I wanted to learn how to draw more women because I only draw men, and I also wanted to learn how to draw more backgrounds. Classic artist doesn't like drawing backgrounds. I like drawing backgrounds now, actually. I prefer drawing, like, landscapes. Anyways, I'm going off topic. I wanted to compile every speed paint that I had made over the last month for Art Fight. I really worked hard this year, and I say, like, I worked hard like it was difficult. I freaking loved Art Fight this year. I'm so sad that it's over. I loved drawing people's characters. I loved, like, the whole community of it. I love that people were drawing my characters. I did not expect a single person to draw my characters. Not that I thought people wouldn't, but I was just like, I'm just here to draw. And then whenever I like log on to, like, draw someone else's character and I saw someone had drawn mine, I was like, it was so freaking cool. Like, people have been drawing Kathy and Ash, and I'm freaking out. And it was just like I have the gift of being able to draw people's characters, and I get the gift of having people draw my characters for free. Like, bro, this is, like, the coolest event ever. And, like, I freaking love drawing people's characters. So, like, I need to open art trades and commissions again, because I seriously am like, feed me your characters, please feed me your characters. I need to draw them. Sorry, it was really fun. I really freaking loved this year. And so I have every speed paint that I've made, but I thought, like, I know I'm waffling right now, and I'm, like, really talking. It's like 3 minutes already. I'm gonna cut this down, don't worry. I know I'm talking a lot, and I'm just like blah, 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 talking. But I find myself really boring. Probably something that I should work on. And if you've seen my previous, like, shorts, you know that I'm trying to, like, be more open online. You know when you're at school and you have, like, a how to improve and what went well? That's how I treat YouTube videos, because I'm autistic. Okay, like, okay, here's how I could improve, here's what went well, here's what I would do better next time. And it's just like, oh my god, that is so boring. Like, tell me some drama or something. Yeah, so I thought, because I don't have any drama of my own, really, I will read Reddit, because people on Reddit are wild. I've got a few stories collected on Reddit here. I've got a few from Hobby Drama. Oh no, I've got one from Hobby Drama, and it is about Art Fight. So this will be a story about some little drama that happened in Art Fight a few years ago. And then I've got a few other stories, and they are from No Sleep. Thank you, No Sleep. You are funding YouTubers worldwide. And it's about art and, like, art-related horror stories. As far as I'm aware, they are real experiences. No, you never know with online, do you? But yeah, so instead of just having speed paints and, like, me talking about random things or music, you may have the Art Fight speed paints and some creepy stories, and I feel like that is so much more interesting. So enjoy, because I freaking loved Art Fight, and I love horror stories, and yeah, bye. Enjoy. This story
was posted by Reddit user Sylvia_Mason to r/hobbydrama. The title is Art Fight, the time when someone recreated Starry Night out of over 3,000 drawn worms and caused a landslide victory in an online art competition. I know that you probably already know what Art Fight is because you've clicked on the video, but I'll give the background anyway. Background. Art Fight is an extremely popular and semi-competitive art trading game hosted every year for the entire month of July, geared mainly towards digital artists. It has had exponential growth since the site in its current format was created in 2016. The Legend of Wormy Night. In 2019, a user named SunMini uploaded an attack titled Wormy Night, which was a recreation of Starry Night made entirely of a single worm on a string character drawn 3,296 times, raking in a whopping 16,651.39 points for Team Nightmare, considering that attacks featuring a single character normally score anywhere from 5 to 20 plus points, depending on the complexity. It was so big, it originally had to be uploaded in 3 separate parts, and the artist elaborates that, quote, each worm is dual tone, has pupilled eyes and fur. All details were applied individually by hand. I consulted with a mod about the details of this piece, and they approved my effort, as well as how much went into the rating. I hand-painted and detailed each worm over the course of 3 days straight. I was either at my computer or caring for my 2 dogs. Aftermath. Wormy Night ended up being the largest attack of 2019, with the largest number of points and largest number of characters in a single piece. Team Nightmare ended up winning the event by over 15,000 points, and the win is largely attributed to SunMini's last-minute submission to pull in the victory. In the community, it holds an almost legendary status for its absurdity and the artist's dedication. There's a side note. They said, to clarify, there was a bit of controversy around the upload and how it was scored, and whether they were really individually painted, instead that the artist had used a custom brush. Some people thought that you shouldn't tag the same character so many times when the overall piece is so complex. In the end, though, the mods determined that if you drew the same character multiple times in the same attack, they all could be tallied up, even in complex pieces. And I will show you the picture of it here. So yeah, how do you feel about this piece? I don't feel like I understand. I don't know if they've said that these characters were individual worms, or if it's the same character over and over again as a worm, or if the character was originally a worm drawn over and over again. If the OC was a worm, then technically I feel like it's fine. I feel like there is a bit of a loophole. But yeah, tell me what you think about that. The next story is from r/NoSleep, and it is by Reddit user Witch Rousseau. And this one is called My Roommate Was a Furry Who Took It Too Far. I think it's quite funny that this story lined up with me actually drawing a fursona. And I just want to say, this is just a scary story. It's got no reflection on the furry community or anything like that, and I love furries, so but yeah, you know what I mean. And also, by the way, these stories are kind of heavy and scary, so you have been warned. Yeah, let's continue. Funnily enough, the story starts with a similar message, and the story begins. I want to preface this by clarifying that I have nothing against the furry community. I've seen a lot of the amazing art that you guys have created, and while it's not something I'm personally into, I do have to admire the immense creativity of this fandom. That said, it's the furry fandom that caused the series of events that occurred to my roommate Kevin. I'd met Kevin after transferring schools for my junior year. He and I got along without too many problems, and we quickly became good friends. We'd play video games, go to parties, study, and just hang out in general. Things were fine for the first few weeks of the semester, up until Halloween. That was when Kevin was introduced to furries. I was already familiar with them, as there had been a furry enthusiasts club at my previous college. I explained to Kevin that furries were people who enjoyed creating art about anthropomorphic animals, that is, animals with human characteristics. Up until this point, Kevin had only used the internet for studying and gaming purposes. As soon as he had typed furry into the Google search bar, however, it was like someone flipped a switch. It was as if overnight he had become a completely different person. Instead of joining me in partying and games, he'd spent his free time on his computer browsing through all sorts of furry forums and other websites. He still went to class and did his work, so I didn't think too much of it at the time. This new hobby continued through Christmas break, and when he returned to our dorm, he showed me what he'd been working on for the past few weeks. He'd apparently taken up drawing and had a few sketchbooks filled with various sketches of anthropomorphic characters. One such character he had drawn multiple times and explained that it was his persona. I found the design impressive, and I still do. I just have a hard time looking at it in the same innocent way. It was a normal cat, but Kevin explained that its fur was a sort of patchwork, made up of various colours and textures of cat fur. Short hair, long hair, even some hairless spots. I told him that it would make a cool looking fursuit, although it would be difficult and expensive to make. He just smiled. Soon after that, his grades began to suffer. He'd rarely show up to class, and when he did, he always seemed like he hadn't gotten any sleep the previous night. He spent more and more time on his computer, or at least it seemed like he did. He kept his door locked, and he only came out to eat and use the bathroom. I started to worry. Everyone needs a hobby, but Kevin was getting to a point where it was consuming his life. Whenever I saw him outside of his room, I tried to convince him to get help, see a shrink or something, anything to work through this supposed addiction. Of course, he always brushed me off, saying that he knew what he was doing. I wish I could say that I pushed even harder, but the frustration of losing most contact with my friend made me bitter, and I decided to not bother anymore. That was when the cat started vanishing. There were quite a few strays on campus, and some of the dorms let the students keep small pets, so there were plenty of cats around the school. There were so many that it was hard to not notice that they were going missing. The corkboard in the campus library was filled with missing posters. Campus security was increasing when rumours began to circle about a supposed cat napper. A few students claimed to see him luring strays away with a small bag of catnip. I saw Kevin even less during that time. The few times I did see him, he was accompanied by a man I didn't recognise, slightly overweight, balding, and wearing glasses. Asking around, I learnt he taught at the medical school nearby and was a retired surgeon. I didn't know why Kevin was hanging around a guy like that, but I convinced myself it was better to not know. I pushed any thoughts of Kevin to the back of my mind and tried to focus on my studies. By April, I had all but forgotten about Kevin. One night in early May, I was watching Netflix when I'd gotten a text. It was Kevin, or at least it came from Kevin's phone. "Hello, Kevin would like you to come to the basement of the science building. The door is unlocked." I thought about ignoring it. It was the first time I'd heard from Kevin since the beginning of the semester. I quickly typed a response. "Why?" Almost immediately, I got a reply. "Please, he wants you to see this." Against my better judgment, I threw on my jacket and left the dorm. I had to know if Kevin was all right. But more importantly, I had to have answers. I had to know what he was up to, why he was involved with the surgeon, if he had a part in the missing cats. Anything that would bring light to this situation. As the text had promised, the door to the science building's basement was unlocked. I'd seen the place a few times. There wasn't much down there aside from some old equipment. When I entered, however, I was surprised to find a whole setup. It was made to look like a mock hospital, or more accurately, a surgery theatre. Curtains surrounded a makeshift operating table, and I could make out the silhouette of someone lying on it. Another silhouette stood over the table, looking down at the figure before turning its attention to me. It stepped away from the table and parted the curtains, revealing the form of the same man I'd seen accompanying Kevin for the last month or so. What struck me right away were his clothes. A blue operating gown stained with blood and bloody rubber gloves. It looked like he had just come from surgery. He watched me with a sad, solemn expression for a moment before I found my voice. "Where's Kevin? What did you do to him?" The man removed his glasses before responding. "I'm sorry. Your friend is alive, but I'm sorry. I had no choice. It was either this or losing my job." He gestured to the operating table, stepping aside so I could examine it for myself. My desire for answers outweighed my anxiety, and I slowly stepped up to the curtains and pulled them apart. I struggled to comprehend what I was looking at for a few seconds, but once the realization hit, I nearly passed out. On the table laid a person-shaped mishmash of fur of varying colours and textures. Looking closer, I could make out some finer details in the unholy amalgamation, mainly in the face. A cat-like nose, lopsided cat ears, and whiskers confirmed my worst fears. Kevin. As soon as his name left my mouth, Kevin's eyes shot open, revealing green, cat-like irises and slit pupils. He turned his head to face me and smiled. His teeth had been sharpened to a point, his canines far longer than they should be. I stared in horror, nearly at a loss for words. Why? He gave a small shrug. Like you said, man, fursuits are expensive. Now that story was extremely dark, but it only gets darker from here. This story is called I'm Not Sure I Can Decline This Commission, and it's submitted to r/nosleep, and it was by errorbossnix_. The story begins saying, "Hey No Sleep, so this probably won't be that long of a story, but I needed somewhere to say it where people will believe me. I'm an artist, and I do commissions for some extra cash. I'm only 17, so getting a paying job is harder than it sounds. Trust me, I've tried. The other day is business as usual. I finished someone's OC on their car. Whatever, furries, no judgment here. $50 is $50. But then, on my search to get more buyers, I found a really strange one. Here's how the text messages played out. I'll refer to buyer as CM. Me is obviously me. CM. Hey, I heard you sell commissions for fairly cheap. Me. Yep. My starting price is around $20, depending on the type of commission. The only things I won't draw is NSFW, including fetish art, brackets, ew, and extreme gore. What are you interested in? CM. Nothing that weird, trust me, lol. Can you draw babies? Me. Never tried, but I could certainly try. If I can't, you don't pay me until I'm finished, so no worries. CM. I can pay you up front. Me. No, really, I insist. I sometimes drop commissions because of art block or other things. CM. Okay, so I want a drawing of my kid. He then sends me a picture of his toddler. The baby looked, well, off. It was sort of purple in colour and looked unnatural. For some reason, this just didn't set off my alarm bells. I guess getting an order was at the forefront of my mind. Me. Is this him/her? CM. Yes, and it's a he. I'll do $250. You could have heard me shout from down the block. The most I've gotten from a single piece of art was $50, so $250 was insane. CM. I need it done by tomorrow. Me. I'll see what I can do. I then sent him details on my usual process of working with the commissioner. Then I sat down on my computer, tablet on my desk, and opened up Psy. I pull up the ref and take a closer look. Now, I'm not a medical professional, but this was definitely not okay. The child was dead. Me. Dude, WTF? Is this kid dead? What sort of sick fuck? CM. You'll draw it, Error Boss. That's my name on DeviantArt for privacy, but he knew my real name, which isn't anywhere on my profile. CM. Wouldn't want anything at all to happen to May, huh? Now this really freaked me out. May is short for Mabon, my cat. Instinctively, I called out for her and looked around the house when she didn't come. She's a good girl. She always comes when called. She was nowhere in the house and the doors were all locked. Me. Where is my cat? CM. Just draw the commission. Winky face. I need advice. I have no clue where this guy lives. Would calling the police do any good? My parents don't know what to do either. All I know is that I need to start drawing. There has since been a few updates on this Reddit post. Eroboss has responded to a comment saying, May is back with us, thankfully. The child definitely looked older than a newborn, plenty of time to take pictures before this. I may have overreacted, but I certainly wasn't expecting to have to draw a corpse. I'd probably be able to understand more if the photo was somehow made in a more positive or memorable light, but it sort of was a lighting and mood you'd see if you just took a photo of a desk about to sell it on Craigslist. They have a final update saying, I somehow finished the drawing. I sent it on Messenger last night. When I woke up, there was $250 in cash in my mailbox in an unmarked envelope, and my cat was in a carrier. Our carrier. I'm so glad to have her back, but I'm still really freaked out. Bro, that story was so scary. Like, I can get, like, scam messages on Instagram, and it'll be like, I want you to draw my son, I'll give you $650 or something. And I just know that it's not real. And they always like post the same pictures, and they always are like, where are you from? Like, how is your day? And they use these stupid ass like emojis, and you just know it's a scam. And so my first thought when reading it was like, oh, this is probably just a scam. But the fact that they knew where they lived and took their cat, like, I just cannot, like, these stories, these past 2 stories that we've had, I cannot fathom that these are real. And I like now feel like I'm stupid. Like, are they not supposed to be real? Am I really dumb? Oh, I'm just gonna say they're not real in my head just to soothe myself, because I'm scared now. Yeah. Oh, I'm too scared for this. I actually had to look this up because I was like, hold on, like, am I being dumb? And apparently the stories on No Sleep are actually not real. But like the AI overview says that they are not real in the sense that they are not based on actual events. They are fictional stories written in a first-person believable style, meant to be read as if they were true accounts. Subreddit encourages writers and readers to immerse themselves in the narrative as if it were a real experience. So I'm glad that they're not real, but at the same time, like, that's so scary. Like, these are really well-written stories. Oh my god. And bro, I fell for it. I was like, what? Is that real? We are also now on the final piece that I did for Art Fight. With this piece, I'm going to do a little like what went well, how to improve, because it is probably my favorite piece that I did of like the entirety of Art Fight. I loved the background, I loved the composition, I loved the colors, I loved the characters, I loved the setting. It was so good. I just wish that I gave myself more time. I had a lot that I wanted to do that day, and it was important to me that I got it done, so I gave myself like 4 hours to do this piece, and I think I actually only did it in like 3 hours. So if I was to do this again, I would focus way more on the line art and like refine the edges a lot more and just give it a lot more detail. But yeah, look how pretty it is. Like, I'm so obsessed with this piece. Yeah. Okay, so we now have 22 hours left of Art Fight, and it ends 1st of August, 12 p.m. I'm guessing that's American time, because it's like almost 9 for me now from the UK, and clearly we still have 22 hours, so yeah, that's pretty good. But yeah, I can't believe it's over. At the moment, it's at 50-50, literally like 50-50. Like, no one's gonna win. If it ended right now, no one would win. And I don't know if that's happened before. It would be so wild. But yeah, I really hope you enjoyed the video, and goodbye Art Fight 2025. I'll see you again next year, and I'm gonna do so good next year. I'm gonna do so good. And yeah, expect like comic stuff as well, because now I've practiced, I feel like I could do way more like really good fan art and comics, so I'm cooking. Yeah, thank you so much for watching. I'll see you in the next video. Bye.